Hi, welcome to Sue's Yoga, Stretching Yoga, 50 and over. And I'm going to go through a series of poses here and I'll explain them in detail so that you don't have to really keep looking up at the camera too much, because I know that can be kind of hard when you're in the middle of a pose. So I will explain them carefully. If you want to look up just for a minute maybe to get the idea of a pose, it would be great. We're going to start off here in the tree pose, which is very easy. Just put your feet hip distance apart, and I want you to raise your hands towards the sky, and I want you to put your right foot right in the middle of your calf, and just hold. And I want you to focus on something that's right in front of you. Makes it much easier to balance. Okay, just one second. I'm going to start over again. So we're going to start out with the tree pose, and it's the beginning of the class. Welcome to Sue's Stretching Yoga. If you'd like to subscribe, thank you, I appreciate that. And get yourself organized on your mat, put your feet hip distance apart, and put your hands in the prayer position towards the sky. This would be a 30-minute class. Put your right foot onto your left calf and hold. Focus on something right in front of you, and keep your eyes on that point in front of you. It really helps with your balance. For most of the poses today, we're going to take 2 breaths in, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, but generally we're going to hold for 2. And I'll always start you. I'll say, okay, let's start. Let's put our feet back down to the ground and let's go switch feet. So put your left foot, put your hands in the air in the prayer position, put your left foot on your right calf, and we'll start now. 2 breaths. So in, 2 sniffs in, slowly out. Okay, we'll do the right side again. So take your right foot and put it on your left calf, hands in the prayer position towards the sky, and start now with the breaths. 2 sniffs in. Okay. I want you to now just open your legs wide, and we're going to do forward folds in between. That just means just lean over, put your feet facing forward, just lean over and hang your head. You can grab your elbows. Just get a good stretch in the back. And come on up slowly and put your feet hip distance apart. We're going to go into standing half moon. So again, put your hands in the prayer position to the sky, and we're going to bend over to the right. This is standing half moon. Great stretch for the left side of your body. Hold this here for a couple of breaths, and let's start the breath now. One more breath. Come on up to standing position. I want you to really stretch up. And we're going to try and focus on getting the rib cage to open up. So we're going to put the hands in the air and bend over to the left, standing half moon to the left. Next, we're going to do the garland pose, which is actually also called the squat. So just think of it as the squat. I'll turn sideways so you can see. You basically want to come down with your hands to the mat, have your legs hip distance apart a little further, and you could spread your legs. Your feet are going to be at a 45-degree angle on your mat. So come on down, hold on to the mat, and then just bend your knees. And we're going to stay here. This is the garland pose, and the goal is also to get our backs to come straight up. So put your hands in the prayer position, put your elbows between your knees to help spread them apart. So this is an excellent stretch for your outer thigh hips. It's also a really good position for digestion. So if you have any digestive issues, this is a great pose to just sit in here, and we're going to take 2 deep breaths in here, starting now. Okay, now when we come out of this pose, I want you to put your hands to the mat. Come on up slowly and basically spread your feet apart and go into a forward fold. The goal of the forward fold is to stretch out the back of your legs. So as I'm doing that, I'd like you to focus on that. Next, we're going to go into 4 warrior poses. The first one will be warrior 1, then 2, then peaceful warrior, and then warrior 3. All of these are really good for both stretching and strengthening. And I thought it'd be nice to do it in the series. So warrior 1, your hands are going to go to the sky. That's one thing to remember about warrior 1. Almost like you're a number 1, okay? So we don't really stay in this position. We start in this position with your feet together on the mat. Take your right foot and point it towards the right. Put your back foot, get a good, nice wide stance because you're trying to get a stretch in here. So your back foot will be at an angle, and you're going to look forward right over your right foot. You're going to bend your knee so that you can still see your big toe. I want you to keep your knee open so that you see your toe, and don't come over your toes. Just you want to be right above it. Put your hands to the sky, and this is warrior 1. And I want you to look this way over your right leg, so keep your gaze this way. You don't need to keep looking at the camera. And here we're going to take 2 deep breaths. So the goal here is I want you to be feeling a really good stretch in your left inner thigh. And at the same time, you're building strength on your right thigh, which is really important for all exercise, for all walking, hiking, not so that you can prevent tripping. Okay, let's take a deep breath in. That's the second one. Okay, now I want you to turn both feet parallel, facing the camera. Come on down to a wide-legged forward fold. And then we're going to switch legs, switch sides, and continue in the warrior 1. Okay, now I want you to put your left foot facing the left, your right foot back. Get a good stretch in, so go as far as you can go where you're comfortable. Bend your left knee so that it stays right over your toe. Bring your hands up to the prayer position and look straight out over your left leg. Now you should be feeling a really good stretch in your right inner thigh and strengthening your left thigh. And we'll take 2 breaths in here, starting now. Okay, now same thing here. Put your feet towards the camera or towards the front. Put your hands down on the mat and hang here for a nice forward fold. The goal here is to keep your legs straight. And I want you to feel a nice, gentle stretch in the back, the whole length of the back of your legs. Remember, the goal here is to really get stretched out with these yoga poses and at the same time building strength. That's why it's nice. Yoga does both at the same time. Next, we're going to go into Warrior 2. So here you want to remember Warrior 1 has your hands to the sky. Warrior 2 has your hands basically going east and west. And you want to make sure that you feel like they're being pulled almost by strings on either side. So you're getting a good stretch in. So for Warrior 2, bring your legs back together. We're going to start on the right side. Have your right leg go out front. Have your right knee, again, go over. Spread it out so you can see your big toe. And then I want you to look over your right hand. Put your hands out on either side. And you're going to get a good stretch in both your arms, your shoulders. So this is really going to help out your upper torso while strengthening your right leg and stretching your left leg. So this is Warrior 2, and let's start with the 2 deep breaths in, okay? Ready, set, go. Okay, let's come on down. Take a deep, wide-legged forward fold stretch. Your legs should be getting more limber each time we go into any of these poses with the warriors. This is Warrior 2, and then we're going to do the side angle pose. Or, I'm sorry, Peaceful Warrior pose. Okay, now let's finish Warrior 2 on the left side. So put your left foot out to the, pointing straight out to the left, your right foot back, get a really good stretch in there. Bend your left knee over your toes. Make sure you can see your big toe, so bring your left knee out. You're going to feel a good stretch in here on the inner thigh. And put your hands straight out with your head looking over your left arm. And imagine yourself being pulled so that you get a good stretch in here in the chest. So you want to open up your chest. I just took a 1 deep breath. Let's try to take another one. Okay, I'm sure you can feel the strengthening here. I certainly can. It makes my legs start to shake. Now come on back down to forward fold, and then we're going to go into Peaceful Warrior on the right side. So I want you to go put your right leg facing right, bend your knee, and so It's just a little, the Peaceful Warrior, you bend your right leg, and then your hand for the right side will be the hand that comes up and over. Okay, so your left leg is back, just like you're in Warrior One, and your right leg is bent, and your right hand comes over your head, up towards the sky, and I want you to look up towards your palm. This is Peaceful Warrior. Let's take another deep breath in. Okay, come on down, bring your feet forward, and we're just going to switch sides. So take your left leg, your foot facing left straight, your right leg back, bend your left leg, and so now your left arm, so the leg that is bent for Peaceful Warrior is the arm that goes up and over your head, and then you want to bring your head up if you can to get a stretch in your neck. This helps with balance, strength, but largely stretching out your rib cage. Okay, come on down to the forward fold, and then we're going to go into, lastly, the last warrior pose, which is Warrior Three. A little more challenging, but we're going to give it a try. So Warrior Three, basically I think of it as like put your hands to the sky, turn, I want you to turn to the long way that your mat is. You're basically going to try and be an ironing board. You have your hands to the sky, so basically you're sort of like a tea kettle. You're going to tip this way. You're not going to go down any further. And then as you're tipping, you're going to bring your left leg up so that you are flat. Your right leg should be straight, and your left leg is out with your foot, your toes facing down. You're gonna do the best you can here. Okay, let's come out of this one. We're gonna switch it to the other side. So put your left leg facing the left, your right leg back, put your hands to the sky, and you basically are, I just think of it as a teacup. You're sort of tipping over, and you need a little more space. You're tipping over, and then if you need to hold on to something, just go ahead. Putting your right leg up, sorry. If your hands are up in the sky in the prayer position, it makes it easier to start. Then you come over and you just raise your right leg as best you can. The goal is to get it to be very straight and strong, but we're doing our best. Okay, that's enough of that one. Let's come down to the forward fold. Next, we're going to go into the pyramid pose. So this pose is a really good stretch for your legs. Put your right foot out forward. I want you to put your hands behind your back and drop your head to your knee. And you should feel a big stretch in the back of your right thigh. Hold this position for 2 breaths. Okay, come on up. Now we're going to switch sides. Put your left foot facing the left wall, your right foot behind you, your hands behind your back. I want you to drop your head gently to your knee, and you're going to feel a stretch in the back of your left thigh. And this is the pyramid pose. Okay, come on up. Next we're gonna do the pigeon because it's a great stretch for our hips, which usually people have tight hips and it's important to do this almost every day. So get down on your mat in the tabletop. Bring your hands forward a bit. I want you to take your right knee, bring it to your right wrist, bring your leg out 45-degree angle or a little bit more. Keep your left leg straight and stretched out in back of you, and you should feel already a pull in your right hip. Now you can come down to the floor, or actually the pigeon should be up like this with your back straight up and your gaze facing forward. So try and just sink into this one and hold that. Feel the stretch in your right hip. I like to sit in this one for quite a while because it's essential to have your hips loose. Okay, come on out of that one. I just want you to gently come out of that one. Go to tabletop. And then I want you to bring your left knee up to your left wrist. Bring your foot out to an angle, a 45-degree angle or further, depending on your body and your hips. Now I want you to bring your right leg straight back. Really release the right leg, let it go back. And if you can sit up into the pigeon pose. Usually one side will be tighter than the other. Next, we're going to come back up slowly to tabletop. Okay. And then very carefully, you always come up and down carefully, bring your right leg up so that your knee is bent. Then bring your left leg up and then come on up to a standing position. Feet hip distance apart. We're going to go right into the chair pose. Put your hands in the prayer position in front of you. Feet hip distance apart. Even further, actually. Your feet should be as wide as the narrow part of your mat. Come on down into the chair position and hold. Just like you're sitting in a chair, or you're going to sit in a chair. Great thigh strength that are obviously super important for all activities. Okay, I really would like you to stay here for a moment. You're going to feel the burn in your thighs, which is good. And then come on up. We're going to go down there again. Okay, take a moment in the standing position. And then come on down again and hold. Try to go back. You don't want to lean too forward. Your hands are in the prayer position. Okay, come on up. Then I want you to come back down to the table position. One leg at a time. Come to your left side. And we're going to go into the boat position. So basically, to make this, first we'll do two boats. The first one I want you to hold your thighs, bring your legs out straight, And this is a good stomach exercise. Bring your legs out straight and then have your back arched. Have your back straight up like this. So you're basically in a V. Hold this position. You're resting on your sacrum, which should feel good. It shouldn't be painful. If anything is ever painful, just realign however it works for your body. Okay, come on up. We're going to do that one more time. Okay. If you want to unhitch your hands, you can just hold it like this. Okay. All right, now we're in the seated position, and we're going to go right into the seated spinal twist. So I want to have you put your left leg out straight, put your right leg over your left leg in the bend position. Your right knee should be bent. Take your right elbow, push out your right knee. You're going to get a stretch in your hip, your right hip here, and also you're going to get a good spinal twist. So I want you to look back towards the left wall, put your hand back behind you to give you support, and breathe into this one. Let's do one deep breath. Okay, we're going to switch sides, and we're going to bring the left leg over the right leg in the bend position. Put your left elbow here to push your left knee out a little bit. Put your right hand back, and I want you to turn towards the back wall as best you can and feel this nice twist. It's like twisting a sponge, so it's really good for your intestines, for digestion, and also for your back. So you're getting a good spinal twist, which is necessary to keep our backs flexible. Okay? And then this is our last pose for today. We're gonna then just come back to the seated position and bring your legs and your right leg in front of you. Sit up straight. Take one last deep breath in. Have a really good day. Thank you so much for joining. And this will be it for today. Great stretches, I think, for you. I hope it's helped you. And again, thank you.